Hi everyone, it's Chelsea here, bringing you another segment of Living in Southwest Florida. If you're thinking of moving to Fort Myers, Cape Coral, or any of the surrounding areas, then you're probably wondering how our Southwest Florida markets fared with all of the volatility in the real estate and financial sectors. So today we're going to explore how the second quarter has gone here and where I think we're heading. But before we jump in really quickly, it would mean a lot to me if you could go ahead and hit that like button so that YouTube algorithms share this information with others and lets me know what you'd like more of. As a thank you, here's a shot of one of my favorite local plants, a sweet almond bush or Aloysia virgata. This bush smells fantastic and it's a great pollinator. This client actually had it planted near their trash cans to make the area smell sweeter, and then they pulled it closer to their front entry where people could smell the fragrance as they came in the front door. Really quickly though, I wouldn't be good at my job if I didn't remind you how much I love helping people from all over the country buy and sell their homes here in Southwest Florida. So if you know of anyone or if you're thinking of moving, then feel free to use the contact info below. All right, let's jump right in. So let's start off with some of the numbers and then I'll explain what I'm seeing. And what better number to start with than how much we're selling for, because I think ultimately people want to know first and foremost how much they can get or can they expect to be spending. In Southwest Florida, the median price for June of 2023 is $450,000. This is the median price for the 2,974 homes that closed that month. For those who are unfamiliar with median prices, a median price is a middle point. I'm using median prices instead of average prices because average prices would put all of those sales together and then it would divide it by the number of houses. And that means that the average doesn't necessarily give a true representation for where the middle ground is because highs and lows can swing that number drastically. For example, last month our lowest sold property in the MLS was clearly a typo. The home had been listed for $285,000 and the sales agent put it in for $38,700. My best guess is that 3 was a typo from a 2 and they forgot a 0, so it really sold for $287,000. I'll be watching those tax records and see what it really posts at. And then of course on the other end of the spectrum was a waterfront home in Naples for a cool $16 million. Obviously, neither of these homes are middle of the road, so they could skew the numbers when averaging prices together. Instead, I use the median price, which will draw a line and find that middle point by putting one above and one below, and one above and one below, and one above and one below until we find exactly where the middle of the market would be. And again, for us this month, that middle point was $450,000. So let's talk about this $450,000 a little deeper. As you can see from the graphs, we've had a pretty strong start to the year. In fact, we've been increasing month over month every month since November until this June when it softened just slightly. Now I'm going to jump over to something different really quickly and show you the statistics for pending homes because this is going to be directly correlating with these sales numbers. See, home sales is a lagging indicator. These homes have gone under contract 30 to 45 days ago typically, and so what I like to really watch is how many buyers are actively writing contracts because that's more in real time. And as you can see, through most of the second quarter, April and May, buyers writing contracts dipped. We went from second strongest month in the last 5 years of written contracts, which was this recent March, and it dipped a bit. Is this correlating with that small dip we see in the sales prices being reported in June? But the good news for sellers is that in June, contracts were up again. And for those who follow the financial markets, interest rates came down a bit and news of inflation came back better, and in June the markets responded accordingly. With all this said though, let's take a look at what those buyers are buying, especially if you're a buyer because you'll want to know how many homes there are to choose from. If you're a seller, you should probably know about your competition. In June of 2023, we had 3,594 homes list onto the market as new listings. This is actually a big dip from earlier this year. That's 7.5% less month prior and almost 17 less year over year. Combining the lower addition of homes to a higher days on average market, which came in at 33 days on our market, our inventory has inched closer to a balanced market. We're right now at 3.8 months of inventory. This chart shows a balanced market to be between 5 and 7 months of inventory, meaning that if we sold every single house we currently have to sell and not add a single new listing, it would take us 3.8 months to sell out. This is also referred to as our absorption rate. Anything under 5 months is a seller's market, above 7 months is a buyer's market, and so right now we are closer to balanced, but still in the seller's market ratio. Right now, I will say if you talk to sellers, they may not feel like it's still a seller's market. The 33 days on market average can really feel like forever when a year ago homes were selling in under a week. I have noticed that most sellers that are successful are the ones who are listening to the market data in real time and making decisions accordingly. What I mean by that is that if you are pricing competitively, then you are selling quickly. All those pending contracts are coming from live, real buyers who are still really ready to move and start the next chapters of their lives. The buyers are out there. Also, something to keep in mind is that the price point matters. Buyers in the $300,000 to $400,000 price point are moving almost twice as many homes as those in other segments, in part because it's an affordable price point for many people. So a heads up for those shopping in that range, it is more competitive right now. One of my recent listings in that price point was on market for less than 24 hours when we had over 20 showings and 5 offers in hand and had accepted an offer on which I can't disclose but is above asking. Now this home was priced competitively and there were still naysayers out there who told us we were overpriced, but because we came in realistic and we had strong demand and like I said, we were realistic, we still had 5 people who also disagreed. In other words, if a home is priced fairly, it will still sell quickly. All right, so what does this mean moving forward? There are still strong disagreements between the leading analytic companies as to what to expect moving forward. If you've asked me over this past year, I've said that my personal opinion is that we'd stay strong through the first quarter of the year with our snowbird season, and then we'd flatten somewhere through summer, maybe a wobble up or down here and there, but overall we'd be flat. Then come fall, winter, I hope we'd be more stabilized with inflation and have it more under control and it'd be pretty more stable. So far, those predictions are pretty true. Statistically, summer is always our slowest times. However, we've actually been pretty active this year. It's going to be interesting to see how it continues to translate into the marketplace. I typically hesitate in forecasting much more than 6 months in advance since the markets have been super volatile. Listen, markets are cyclical. They will always go down and they'll go up. When buying a house, you should expect that it will go down at some point. What is important to follow, though, is what your calendar looks like, because those trend lines tend to move up and down over the short periods and up over the long ones. Statistically, real estate held over at least 10 years will always be up. So, weigh how long your hold time is going to be on a property and then make a decision from there. If you plan on holding the home for a long period of time, then any downturns that may come, you'll ride through. All right, and let's also talk about those 6 months in the near future. At this stage, I'm going to hold on to my prior statements. We might see some wobbling through the end of the summer and early fall with an uptick again later in the year once snowbirds return for season and the economy is more stabilized. With a slew of new businesses moving to the area and an unemployment rate lower than the national average, I think once some of the fear out there subsides, we'll be seeing buyers who are resting come back to the market again with more confidence. I expect to see that by the end of the year, relative flatness, maybe a 1% to 2% differential. My best piece of advice, though, is to follow your life circumstances and make the decisions for your family for the lifestyle and the value quality of life that you want to lead. There is value in living the life that you dream. All right, if you have any questions about the data or if you'd like to drill down and compare specific neighborhoods like, say, Cape Coral versus Fort Myers or waterfront homes or pool homes or whatever your specific circumstances call for, then feel free to reach out to the contact info in the description below. Myself and the network of agents I have throughout the United States are here and ready to help you with your move. My video schedule can sometimes be erratic, so if you'd like more videos like this, then don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll be notified when we drop another one. And if you're ready to go ahead and get that ball rolling on your move to Southwest Florida, then there is a link in the description below to set up a personalized home search call that will be tailored to you. Oftentimes when you search your web aggregates, it limits our capabilities. But when I build a search, you're going to have many more options available and we can begin to have a conversation as to what your home in Florida will look like. Or feel free to use capecoralfortmyersrealestate.com for all the latest listings to hit the market and begin getting comfortable with our marketplace. No obligations. And don't forget to add me on social media and follow along as we post weekly articles and information that you may find handy and give you insight as to what life in Florida looks like. As always, we really appreciate it when you leave us a comment and hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell so that you can be notified when we drop future videos that may help you with living in Southwest Florida. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I wish you much health and happiness.